your patience as we sort through all
No
that.
problem, my friend. No problem. I've got plenty of work to do while I'm in this chair. So
Yeah, I know the feeling.
if I'm not working with you, I've got plenty in front of me. So I'm just trying to get it all done today. And it's almost time to walk the dog, and then it's cocktail time. Then I got to get back to the chair.
There you go. Yeah. To audio nerds like us, from mixing to mastering to the business of dance music to drum miking to really cool software and hardware and all kinds of stuff. So I hope you'll join us every month and subscribe and bring a friend and check it out. If you miss a broadcast, you can always check us out through the link on FS1. And just see it, watch it offline. It's always recorded there for your viewing pleasure. So I'd like to introduce our guest, who is Derrick Floyd. His title is Senior Account Manager at IK Multimedia, but that hardly does him justice. He's been a friend of Full Sail for more than 2 decades and a friend of mine for that long. And he's done great things working in partnership with us here at Full Sail. And it's because of him that every one of you audio students receives a bundle of awesome IK Multimedia software as part of your LaunchBox every month. So, Derrick, welcome. We're glad to have you for this month's Town Hall.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me, man. I sure do appreciate the invite. And as you said, we've known each other for a long time. 2 decades sounds like a long time, doesn't it? Like really, really long.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Just a drop in the bucket.
But Full Sail's always been a fantastic place for us. We've always appreciated what you do there and the education that you give to the students there, the way you encourage the arts and really just push the young people to come out and experience more than just making beats. There's a whole huge side of audio production that's out there, and you've been heading up that chair for so long, so we're just so thankful to be a part of what you do there.
Well, we appreciate your partnership and friendship. So there are a couple things that we want to talk about together this month. One is just the bundle that you've been giving to all of our audio students for a very long time now. And just the fact of the bundle, what the bundle consists of, and some things that have changed recently about the bundle. So is that a good place for us to start?
Let's go ahead and jump into that. So if you don't mind, I'll just go ahead and give a little bit of a preface. As he said, you guys have been receiving this bundle. We called it the Total Studio Trio for a long time because it had 3 components to it. We'll break those down in the next few moments in a small little keynote. But now we've added a 4th component to it, and we've improved some things that are going to help you stay creative with whatever you've got going on there. So if you guys are ready to take a sneak peek, let's dive into something and take a look at what these products you have in your LaunchBox currently already. Let's take a look together. We'll see what we got here. Let's do this. And there we go. So IK Multimedia is known for multiple things. We have hardware products like keyboards, synths, guitar pedals, stands, you name it. And then, of course, we have software products, which are our plugins that have been around for a long time. And IK started as a software company. We were making a product called Groove Maker a very long time ago. When I first got to the company, we've definitely expanded since then. Yeah. But now that we've married into the Full Sail family, we wanted to give you 3 specific tools that can help you create your path, your track, your music. And you're going to need these 3, whether you were getting them from us or somewhere else. Let's take a look at the IK product that we have for you. The first one's going to be T-Racks. Now, I know a lot of you are mixing and mastering engineers out there, and you got to have nice creative tools to be able to cut and slice and get through your mixes to be able to really bring out the nuances like the compressors, limiters, soft clippers, EQs, all those things out are there. But T-Rack 6 is really a complete ecosystem with an all-in-one plug-in master space with a standalone console, and it includes 19 high-end analog and digital EQ compressors, limiters, effects, and super professional-grade sonics. The original version of T-Rack that you guys have in your present bundle, I think, was only 15 plugins. So we've added some more goodies to this one, so you're going to get some brand new things. You're going to get a brand new window that you see there in front of you. You're going to get a brand new hierarchy where you'll be able to pull things from different places. And you'll be able to get a standalone plugin, like we said here in the earlier part, where if you're doing a mastering of some sort and you don't want to use the DAW, you can export that file out into that picture you see there, that's separate standalone mastering console, and import it right into that and do your master right there. But let's take a look at what this product can do in a quick nutshell. Here's 2 minutes. Yeah, and that is T-Rex, man. It is really one of the most amazing products we've done, especially over this T-Rex 6, this new evolution. We really have tightened up how the product works. We've made it streamlined. As you can tell, you can move the windows back and forth. They work within any DAW. Like you said, you see here Pro Tools here. But one of the bigger things I think that people miss that we do in our products is we give you a ton of presets. Now, I know a lot of you probably out there going, presets, who wants those? But man, when your workflow has got to get things done, maybe you've got a film you're working on, maybe you've got a TV show you're trying to finish, and you want to import that data, and you don't have time to fuss with a lot of things. We give you a really great set of presets to be able to get to close where you want to go, and you finish off at the end. Brian, tell me about, I mean, presets are kind of a win-win if you ask me. What about you?
Yeah, well, the thing about presets is that people dismiss them without really giving it a lot of thought. The preset isn't the answer to your thing. It's, as you just said a minute ago, it's a way to get close. If you have a style that you're going for, if you've got a problem you're trying to solve, you try a preset, and if it gets you close and it results in fewer fine adjustments that you need to make, it just saved you time. So sometimes presets can be really useful in that regard. No one mixes by presets. No one just dials up, oh, this is my favorite preset, I'll just slap that on there. That's not a thing that happens, and that's not what people mean when they include presets with products, as you guys do.
Exactly. And he said it perfectly. We know that that preset isn't the end all, but it's the start to get you there quicker. If that preset gets you halfway to where you got to go and saves you 2 hours of time, it's worth it. And that's what we try to do. And we have people, engineers from all over the world, try to create these presets for you. So it's not like we're sitting there going, let's just make up something fun. No, we're doing it on purpose, with specific thoughts in mind to get you halfway there. And then we try to put together a lot of the tools that you would look for, like you see the tape machine here, the Master EQ 432. There's quite a few pieces you probably have seen before in the past. And when you see something like a tape machine from us, you're getting the actual feel of that tape machine. We've taken that machine itself and recreated the way that machine responds, the way it feels, the way it pulses back to you. When you look at our products, a lot of them are what we call modeled by or presented about another product. Like say it's a Pultec EQP1 or some of the products or some of the newer stuff we've done, like getting Fame Studio Reverb, where we went in and we captured the sound of a room, like the Fame Studio, or like we went and did the room for the Stone Room, which was the one with Phil Collins when he did that cool sound of those drums. We captured that sound of that room in a plugin. So plugins can do so many things, you'd be surprised. You could look up and go, man, I bet you if I type in this into IK's arsenal, I'll find something like it. And that's what we want to make sure that you have access to. So us starting you off today with T-Rex 6, we gave you 19 of those, which is some of the best stuff we've done. But as you saw, there's over 60. So as you advance and you need more toys, you can always go back into your authorization manager, your product manager, and buy more goodies. And as a Full Sail grad and a Full Sail student, we do offer discounts to you. So we always make sure you can, and if you want to upgrade, we'll help you get there too. So good stuff, right?
Awesome. That's great. So a couple things before we move on from T-Rex. One is with regard to the presets and the fact that there are 19 included modules and 60 total modules available. Traditionally, you've included an installation of presets that tease some of those value-added purchases that we can make. Can you give a student who's just looking at T-Rex for the first time some guidance in distinguishing the presets for the modules that they actually have for the ones that they could acquire if they chose to down the road?
Well, once you pull up the ones that you have in the system, that will be the only presets that will show up per product. So like if you go back to the original piece and you see on the other side where it says chain presets, those presets that show up there are the only ones that you'll see from the products that you have. So if you don't have Tape Machine 80, then you won't see Clean Pusher preset show up over there. So it's not like we're throwing something at you that you don't have. We only show you the presets that are possible to you. Now, what we do from time to time is you'll see on the module list to the right, you see all the things that are possible. When you click that one, it'll tell you, okay, you don't own this, but here's the presets that match that piece. So as you dive in, you may go, oh, I wish I could use this one. If you click that, it'll give you the option to purchase or download. And it'll just say, I think it says unlock. It'll unlock into your
Gotcha.
application, and it'll charge you for that particular piece. So it does give you a little sneak peek there.
Gotcha. Thanks for helping us understand that. That's a nice improvement over what we've seen before. So that's a lot easier to understand. The other thing I just wanted to say is that I remember T-Rex like from version 1. And it was a cool project, a cool product from the beginning. And I always thought I thought it sounded interesting. I thought it was cool to use, but it's really grown and developed so much. Can you say a word about the match EQ that's included now?
That's that particular one right in the front you see there. The match EQ is where you are able to take a piece of music, play it through this particular product called Match, and it analyzes all the frequencies, not just EQ, but compression and limiting, all that inside the track, and it makes a snapshot of what that track can do. Then you take that actual snapshot or that examination of the impulses of that song, and you can place that on another track. In other words, if you've got a song that's similar, like a pop track that has a certain vibe, you can take that pop track and say, hey, I want that. Let me go back to it here real quickly. There it is. I want to take this master match here, lock it onto this track that has a great punch, great feel. My track is similar. Then it saves that. Then you import your track in, apply that master match, and boom, it's almost like you did what they did. Almost. Nothing's ever perfect.
Right.
But it does get you close.
Right. The preset rule applies here as well. It's not just a one-button miracle fix, but it's a good starting point. And it kind of builds on what we tell people when they're learning to mix to begin with, which is get some good reference tracks, things that you like the sound of, that are in the style that you're trying to be part of, trying to break into, trying to emulate, and listen to those as you're mixing. And kind of, train your ears to steer it in that direction, and this helps you accomplish that.
Yeah. And, this master match was one of those things I wish I would have had back in the day. Think about it, Brian. When we used to first have to mix, and they'd say, I want it to sound like this. If I'd have had a master match 15 years ago, I would have been way faster at what I was doing than what we are now. I could have just popped in that Pink Floyd track, let it analyze, come back out, turn it on the next track. It would have spaced out perfectly. I would have been a happy guy. So, but now we got to work for it. There you go.
Well, it's never a shame to have to work for something. Does the standalone version allow you to do any editing to top and tail or fade or anything, or is it just processing? It does.
In that little small one where it says the waveform there, you actually can do your edits, your fade-ins, fade-outs, all that stuff is there for you.
Cool. Very convenient.
Fade-out tools. Excellent question. Great question. Excellent. I'm going to skip the video, though, and get back out. That's a great question. Anybody else have questions on that?
Yeah, if you have any questions as we're going, please just put them in the chat, and we'll read them out and get to them as we go here. So
that's the first tool. I call it it's kind of the surgical knife. T-Rex to me is the surgical knife. It's how you carve and slice and kind of create and kind of build out the product that you're listening for. So you use that to carve out what you're doing. But what about you need some seasoning? You need the recipe for the song. The recipe would be something like this. This is called SampleTank. SampleTank is our workstation product. That being all the flavors you could think of, drums, bass, keys, brass, percussion, ethnic, all of it is inside SampleTank. And you have tons of things to choose from. You got 30 gigs of sounds in there, over 2,000 instrument presets. And there's a bunch of groove production tools like arpeggiator, strummer, pattern player, and loop manager. And you get 60 effects inside of SampleTank. And those effects are actually some of the ones that are built from T-Rex and some of their effects from our Amplitube product, which you'll see here shortly. What's neat about using our tools together is that we kind of intermingle our goodies so that if you buy one of our products, you probably get a little bit of something else that you didn't know was even in there. So when you look at SampleTank and you go, oh, this compressor sounds cool, you'll pull it up and you'll notice it's a T-Rex compressor, or you'll say it's a T-Rex limiter, or so forth. Giving you tools like an arpeggiator and a strummer, you don't think about these things till you get into the middle of a mix and you go, I wish I could have it doing some kind of cool arpeggiation. Boom, you've got it built into SampleTank. or a strummer. We all want to have that cool guitar sound, like a nice acoustic guitar playing sound, and maybe we can't play it as well on a keyboard, but we give you a strummer inside of SampleTank to allow you to play that. And then loop manager is a big one, because if you want to be able to bring in different loops, everybody's using loops now, and you can put those in different parts of the song. It makes a big difference having that inside the box. So let's take a quick video of what SampleTank can do. Let's check it out. I love that one. I love that piece. And that piece was done completely with SampleTank. All of our products in that one piece.
Nice.
What do you think, Brian?
That's pretty impressive. I didn't realize that that we had a strummer available in SampleTank. That's a cool feature.
It is in there. It is in there. And you're looking right at the just basic window there, and you get up to 16 channels per tank, and you can pull up to 2 tanks at a time. So you're talking about, 32 channels of goodies going at one shot. So you can have quite a few tracks coming off those tanks. I know I've had, let's see, when I was really working hard, I've had like 5 tanks with a bunch of stuff spaced in between. So 3 here, 2 here. And I would use my tanks in a way where, and I call them tanks, I would call them instruments to me. Each sample tank to me was an instrument. Now I could put everything in one, like I could put, drums, bass, keys, brass, all in one tank if I had 16 channels. But I would take my percussion or my drums and make that one tank, and then make my strings another tank, and make so I'd separate it so I'd have more flexibility, more control, and I'd be able to really isolate those sounds when I need to pull back in the mix. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I remember back in the day when Pro Tools first implemented multi-channel output from software synthesizers, that SampleTank was the first instrument that we had available to demonstrate the capability of not only having a multi-timbral synthesizer, but a multi-output. So you could have different instruments on different channels and then feed them back into Pro Tools through different audio channels, so that you could actually do a multi-track mix in Pro Tools instead of just taking the stereo output of a multi-timbral synthesizer. So that's always been one of the kind of cool memories I have from the early days of working with SampleTank.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think the neat thing that you remember that is that we really were one of the first ones to let you take a software synth multi-timbrally. Everybody else was just doing single, stereo, stereo, stereo. And we're going, hey, let's let you space this all the way out. It really gave you a whole other layer to how you could use your music. So I think when I look at this and I look at like I said, the next slide here, the synth engine's gotten so much better. I mean, we really souped up the piece. And even when you looked at the first part of the video, and it said there's like we gave you 30 gigs, but there's 250 gigs of sounds available. 30 gigs, y'all, is a lot of sounds. So don't think we didn't give you some good stuff. 30 gigs is plenty of goodies, especially if you're counting some of the synths that we give you in there, Syntronic, and some of the other synths that are in there. We give you a lot of goodies there. And this engine is going to let you do just about anything you want to, as far as to craft the sound. And then here's these effects I was talking about. So if you see those look like the effects from T-Rex. They are basically the LaunchBox style of T-Rex effects. So we just kind of threw them in there so you could have that control and that flexibility to build your sound right inside the DAW. So SampleTank can be used as a standalone, because you saw them say in stage or in the studio. So if you wanted to, I used to have a couple of friends that would use SampleTank live, and they'd have a really cool keyboard like that one I have in front of me, but they'd have it layered inside their DAW or inside their system, where they'd be able to trigger different sounds at each one and just hit a button on their keyboard and boom, they're triggering the next sound. And it's something like this, like a key station. You could have this set up in your DAW and be able to trigger each sound with the master faders of each one, combining them together right inside the track. So giving you a lot of flexibility, a lot of control. And I think for creativity's sake, we tried to give you a little bit of each sound, you know, drums, bass, keys, bass, percussion, ethnic, you name it, all there. And a lot of our sounds are sampled sounds, like our strings that you heard are sampled by a great composer named Miroslav. I know you remember when that first came out. It was one of the first great samples libraries.
Yes, it was.
That had a great sound to it. And those strings you heard were the Miroslav strings, which are really, really well done. The drums, like I said, are phenomenal. The basses, you'll hear some of the sampled basses that are there. And when you listen to a sound, I know you guys have already heard this before, but something that's sampled and something that's created is different. Like when you hear a sampled bass, that means we've taken that and we've recorded that instrument with all the multiple layers of that note to give it to you as close as you can to playing that instrument, rather than creating that sound by synthesis. It has a different feel. Right, Brian?
Exactly. And speaking of the string library, I noticed that true legato is one of the features that's been added over the years.
Yeah,
so backing up just a second to the Miroslav Philharmonic, that's back in the day. That was one of the first string libraries that was ever really convincing to listen to. There's been a lot of people who've moved into that space over the years, but that was really a pace setter back in the day. And one of the things that makes string samples convincing is the ability to articulate like an actual live musician, which a keyboard is fundamentally different from a violin or a cello, but having the true legato articulation capability in the synthesizer helps bridge that gap and make more convincing string sounds. Can you say a bit about that?
That's great. And what he's talking about is the legato that's added to the instrument. Like you can turn that on and adjust that to where when you strike a key, it gives you a certain amount of push-pull velocity, even a little bit of what's I'm looking for, vibrato. When you want it to swell, you can add all that into the touch of the instrument itself. So really making that instrument come alive rather than just hitting the note and having it respond. It actually has a whole other room of warmth that you can add to it. Right, Brian?
Yeah, exactly. It makes such a difference in terms of not just the timbre, but really the convincingness of what we're doing. So cool. That's great. SampleTank. Cool
yeah,
instrument.
just when you guys get home today, you guys got to open this thing up. This is something I didn't even know you had. And just realize you probably have whatever sound you need to create whatever you're looking for. And if you don't, you can go into the product authorization manager and find more goodies. As we said, we're giving you 30 gig, but there's 250 gigs of sounds available. And I'm sure if you can't find it there, you probably can't find it anywhere. So we're making sure you have the tools to get that done. And we talk about that strummer as well. Don't forget about the strummer and the arpeggiator. Those are going to be great tools if you're making dance music. if you make anything electronic music, those are great tools to have in your arsenal to be able to. When you saw on the video, he was just drawing in the arpeggiator. He had a little note. He just went up, down, and then it played that note that way. How easy is that, right? That doesn't get any easier than just draw it in and go. I mean, what do you think, Brian?
Yeah, man. The next time that we have you on, we need to do a deep dive into the arpeggiator and the strummer, just you know, for an entire town hall.
Yeah, it's pretty killer. We'll do a full session on it. We'll make it fun.
Awesome.
All right. Next product. We're just giving you guys all kind of fun toys. You guys ready? Funs. I know I can't see you, but you can see me. More toys, more toys, more toys. Okay. What do we got? Oh, who's the guitar players out there? We got some guitar players out there? Everybody wants to be Eddie Van Halen or one of those guys anyway. Amplitube 5, another one of those where we were a groundbreaker in guitar effects modeling, right, Brian? We really were one of the first.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. You know, veritable tone studio for guitar and bass. It can be used as a standalone application as well as a plugin for your DAW. And it really recreates the entire signal flow or signal chain from your guitar to the recorder. And it gives you a ton of realistic amps, pedals, cabinets, and FX models that you can prop in. As you see on the window there, you see the actual chain of where things are set up together. So you can, when you think about a guitar player, it's all about signal flow, from what pedal goes to what, that goes to what, that goes to this. So if you look at that, you can set up your chain however you want it to be, giving you complete flexibility to be able to make that sound. And when we say model, we do what we do before, like we did with the strings, what we did with the guitars, drums. We take that thing apart and make it exactly as close as we can to how that instrument's supposed to be played or how it's supposed to respond. Let's take a look at the video real quick, see what it can do. That's me right there in space, by the way.
No doubt.
Rocking out. Yeah, fun stuff. All right, Gallows. What do you think? What do you think, B?
Yeah, man. I'm glad you landed on this screenshot because to me, one of the coolest things about this is the amp miking section.
Yeah.
because you can choose different microphones, you can configure them differently, you can move them horizontally and vertically and different distances and everything, and get practice listening to what it sounds like without experiencing, the hearing damage that you would ordinarily get if you had a live guitarist on the other end of that amplifier. So
It's a
to
great
me,
teaching tool, Brian,
yeah,
don't you think? I mean, this is something you guys can teach in class about how to mic an amp. This is where it goes right here.
yeah, as a learning tool, to be able to just sit there and experiment in the privacy of your own studio, and be able to make mistakes without a guitarist looking at you askance and stuff like that. I mean, what a great treasure that is, to be able to actually listen to those differences.
It is. And one of the things I want to kind of draw a little bit of a note to is, you see on that particular cabinet, you see the name Mesa. We're one of the few companies that have created partnerships with the real amp manufacturers. If you pull up one of the other amp companies, it may say Hessa instead of Mesa. It may say, or it may say Borange instead of Orange. It'll say based on Orange. Our products, 9 times out of 10, are based with the company. In other words, those companies have helped us create the most identical version of their product possible. If it wasn't, they wouldn't sign their name on it. Think about it. You're Mesa. If it's not a Mesa, you're not going to put Mesa's name on it, right? If it's not Fender, you're not going to put Fender's name on it. So these guys had to make sure it was right on for them to go, oh, well, then IK got it right. So as a guitar player out there, if you guys are making your tracks and putting it together for your class, you want to be able to have the most accurate gear out there. We're always going to give that to you. And then you looked up and you saw some of the guitar players that have worked with us. Some of the greats, Brian May, Joe Satriani, these guys are made their living on their tone. So when they said, hey, I'm going to give you a version of my rig, the Satriani one was recent here in the last few months. And we worked with Joe for quite a long time because he's pretty persnickety about the tone of his guitar. And when you can say, hey, I can pull up Joe's rig and play through the rig that he used on Surfing the Alien, come on. That's pretty freaking cool, right, Brian?
That's extremely cool. Hey, I know you've got another ace up your sleeve, but before we get to that, can we just see your smiling face for a couple of minutes?
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
I thought you guys could see me over there. It's either me or the screen.
It's either you or the screen. Yep. It is a binary choice. So
it's a binary choice.
So if your face is tired from smiling all this time, it was wasted effort. But we could hear it. So yeah, you made a really good point about the different sounds and whether you're a guitarist or not. If you're a guitarist, this is a great tool for experimenting with gear that you can't have or don't have room for in your apartment, or can't play at proper levels in your current living situation. So it's great in terms of that. But if you're not a guitarist, this is a great opportunity for you to start to understand what the heck the guitarists are talking about when they talk about a particular amp and matching a particular head with a particular cabinet, and order of stomp boxes, and what the heck this particular type of effect is supposed to do. To me, that's a great learning tool to help you understand the perspective of the players. One of the things that has served me well as a musician, as an arranger and composer, and as an engineer is the fact that I've been blessed with an amazing set of musician friends, world-class musicians who will just talk to me about it. If I want to do a brass quintet arrangement, I talk to my friends who are brass players about range, about power, about different orchestration techniques, about the use of dynamics and balance within the ensemble, and for you to be able to explore these modules and talk to your guitarists more intelligently is a tremendously powerful thing.
Oh, love it. You said that perfectly. Let me show them something as you're talking about that. I want to show back to share screen just one more time because it's something I want them to see. when we're looking at, let's see, when we're looking at this screen and you see it says speaker, you see mic, you see room, and you see the cabinet, the pedal, and the amp head. Each of these components you can change because you see this down here at the bottom. So when I look at the speaker, I can actually go into the speaker itself and change the speaker cone. I can get pretty tweaky about how I want that cone to feel, the circumference of the cone, all of that. I can put it in the right room I want it. You see it says room there. So when you think room, you think, oh, it doesn't matter, right? Of course it matters. If I want it in a wood panel room, if I want it in a room that has paneling on it with foam on the walls, if I want it to be in a subway, wherever, the room adds so much character to the sound. So we give you the ability to not only change the speaker or change the cabinet or change the microphone, you can even change the room that you put it in. So these are other things, as Brian's talking about, when you're going to be learning about miking a guitar or how a guitar should sound in certain places, you can test all that out with this product and really get a feel for it and figure out what these things will sound like somewhere else, right?
Absolutely. Well, we're actually getting pretty close to the end of our live stream today, but
Okay.
I know you've got another. As I said,
Let's go
up
one
your
more.
sleeve.
Let's kick it in. Let's do it right now. But I just want you guys to see that last slide for that, because there's lots of fun goodies there, compressors, limiters, you name it. And there's something you see said tone.net at the top. Tone.net is an open platform online, and you can log in, and there's all these different IRs, impulse responses from all over the world that you can download for yourself for free. So we give you access to all kind of goodies. So your arsenal of amp gear never gets cold. And we just want to show you that you do have that 8-channel recording, 8-channel recorder on the standalone version. So if you don't have a DAW, you're just starting up by yourself, you can record 8 tracks by yourself.
Awesome.
Let's go to this last product and we'll close it up. How about Amplitube ToneX? You're thinking, didn't we just see this? ToneX is a different kind of DAW because it gives you premium tone models that are actually captured like an impulse response, where the sampling is one way and actual tone capture is another. Let's take a look at it and give it 2 seconds, see what you can see without this thing.
Cool. And we're not seeing it yet.
Oh, you're not seeing it yet?
So you need to share and be sure to
I didn't share? Oh, I gave you no
Yep.
share, huh?
Yeah.
And see, I didn't love you. No share. No share for you. I just thought you were seeing what I was seeing. All right, now we got it. Let's see what we got there. And there's ToneX. All right, looks like Amplitube, but not quite. Let's take a look and see what it can do in the back end. And there you go, Tonex. Now, what's the difference between Tonex and Amplitube? The biggie is that it's AI machine technology. In other words, you can capture your own rig, whatever you've got in the room, and you can basically import it into your program and take it with you. How cool is that? Brian, talk to me a little bit about what tone modeling or tone capturing is.
You're blowing my mind with this. Why don't you tell us what you mean by tone capturing?
Well,
here?
tone capturing really is where you actually we have an application inside of Tonex software that actually walks you through the process. You're actually taking your own microphone and you're putting it in front of your box. You're actually sending a test signal to that box. It captures that signal back from your amplifier, puts it back through our application, takes all the impulse responses from what your amplifier can do. It'll walk you through a couple of different steps. Once it's done, the amplifier is basically recreated inside your software. So what happens is you're able to take whatever you've got, wherever you are, and roll with it. You saw we can actually take it and put it on your phone or your iPad. So we've made the technology so easy that anybody can capture their amp and take it with them. What that does, though, is it gives you an open platform to just about any amp or pedal or cabinet on the planet, and you can drop it into Tonex and be able to work with that. Amplitube only plays the ones that were set with Amplitude. Tonex lets you play anything. Make sense?
Yeah. So this is kind of a peer-to-peer experience. So so you're able to do what IK Multimedia has been doing for years.
Exactly.
Within Amplitube, except now I can model my gear and trade sounds with someone else who's got some gear that I'm interested in. And okay, and plus which I can model my own setup and take it with me without taking it physically with me.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
That's pretty cool.
Game changer.
That's pretty cool.
And that's a new product that was not offered to you guys last year. We just added Tonex to your bundle. So if you got the bundle from last year and you'd like to get Tonex, send an email to Brian. Brian will get a hold of me and we'll get you a code for Tonex as well, because this just was added a month and a half ago. So your next set of serials, Brian, will have Tonex with them.
That's too cool. So when is a trio not a trio?
Yeah, now it's Total Studio Essentials.
Oh, nice. Trio. That's fabulous. Well, thanks for that, Derrick. I just want to talk some Full Sail lingo with our students for just a second and point out that every audio student, regardless of which audio program you're in, is receiving this trio or essentials bundle from IK Multimedia. You received it with the shipment of other software authorization codes when you got your LaunchBox to begin with. So for campus students, that was when you first enrolled on campus. For our online students, that's like the week before you enrolled in recording principles. So if you're not already aware of this, then you need to dig into your email and go back to that week when you got Pro Tools and Logic authorization codes and find your IK Multimedia authorization codes and start installing that stuff. One other thing is you should go ahead and install this bundle, even though there is some duplication with some things that IK has been partnering with Avid to bundle with Pro Tools. Just install it straight from the bundle that you received from IK, and don't worry about those versions that came with Pro Tools. You won't be losing out on anything.
Agreed.
Any other final thoughts that our students need to know to really dig in and take advantage of this?
Just to remind everybody, man, you guys are in a great place. You're in a great place to learn about the arts, about creativity. Don't limit yourself to what you can do with your skill set. As Brian said, there's so many different companies out here that maybe you didn't think about. I'm going to go be a rep for a company. Maybe you didn't think about that, but man, there's so much opportunity in so many of these companies like IK Multimedia. I started there 25 years ago, and there's just, I've learned so much just from being there. There's Personas, there's Fender. I mean, you know what I always tell everybody? Whatever instrument or product you own, think of working there. And how could you make that product better? That's where you take your skill set and do. That's kind of what I did when I got to IK Multimedia. I thought, well, you know, this is a cool place, but how can I bring what I do and make this company better? And that's been 25 years later. Here I am. So you never know what you can bring to the table.
That's right. You never know. And I've never had a student walk in the door and say, "Hey, Brian, my dream in life is to work for a product manufacturer in the music industry." But we've had students who graduated and went on to careers with IK, with Avid, with Focusrite, with a lot of different companies out there. So yeah, it really is an option to have a stable and productive career and to continue to learn and grow. And it hasn't stopped you from being a creative professional as well, has it?
Not at all. I'm still a musician. I'm a podcaster now. It still keeps me moving. The great thing is I get to be a part of all that's happening in the industry all the time. And I do want to say, from my case point of view, we're looking for interns. Internship's always a great way to start, to get your feet wet in a place that maybe you weren't familiar with. I know sometimes you think, oh, I'm not getting paid for that. I don't want to do that. Well, you know, an internship on a resume looks really good because that means you've taken the time to learn a skill, to learn a new product. You've invested something into it, and you've learned how to work through another system. Maybe that be how they think, how they do things. It just shows you got some chutzpah to go out and work for that a little bit more. So we're always looking for great interns so you can learn more about the products and about our company. So if you're looking for that, shoot that to Brian as well. We'd love to have you come on board and learn about some of the great technology over at IK.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks for pointing that out. You heard it here first, everyone.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we are out of time, and you've managed to dazzle people to the point where there are no questions queued up. So thanks for preemptively answering all our questions. We really appreciate you taking the time to be with us, and we appreciate your friendship and support all these years, Derrick.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you guys. Brian, Full Sail, you guys are rocking. Keep going, guys. Keep going.
Right on. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We're glad you could be with us for this month's Audio Production Town Hall with IK Multimedia. Join us every month here at the beginning of the fourth week. We're going to be here over and over and over again and talking about all sorts of cool things from one month to the next. Watch for it on FS1. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube and get notified of when the next one's coming up. And until then, go out there, make great sounds, and do your homework. All right, thanks, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Oh, and especially thank you to this month's AVT class, Audiovisual Technologies class, and their course director, John Cost, for production assistance. It's been great working with this team. It's always a great experience for us, and we just wouldn't be the same without the support of the AVT class. So thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.